So Mattel has resurrected the Street Sharks. Kind of. And what I've got here is one of these brand new Street Sharks action figures, thanks to Mattel, who surprised me by sending me an early sample. So we're going to tear into this. We're really going to get a look at it. But if you're not aware, let me quickly explain what's going on with the return of Street Sharks. Mattel is using their Mattel Creations platform to give us 3 brand new Street Sharks action figures that have never been produced before. Essentially, these are all concept figures. So what they did is they dove into their archives, they found some old concept artwork, some sketches, and they brought those to life. So of the 3 brand new figures, we're getting Ripster, who was originally intended to be the main hero before they finalize the designs of the characters. We've got Carcass, who I believe is a entirely new character. And then we've got Clambo, who is actually the early sketch of a character named Clamando, who did originally show up in the animated series. Aside from showing up in the animated series, there was a prototype for Clamando, but the figure was never released as an actual figure. So of the 3 that they're showing off, that's probably the one that longtime Street Shark fans are most excited to see, just because he's one of those unreleased characters. And that's actually the one I've got here today. Now, let me start by saying this is the sort of thing that is right up my alley. I love this kind of thing. I missed Street Sharks. It's a little bit after my time as a kid, and I've never really collected any Street Sharks toys, but I've always admired them. I mean, I'm a big Ninja Turtles fan, so how could I not appreciate something like Street Sharks? And I've always been, as a toy collector, somebody who is fascinated by prototypes and artwork and unreleased toys and stuff like that. So anytime a toy company is bringing us a figure that we were supposed to get originally and never did, that's something that is really cool and really exciting to me. So this is a pretty neat idea, and I do think that this is great. And when I first saw it, I was really excited by it. But then the details were released, and these, of course, are going to be exclusive through Mattel Creations website at a cost of $75 per figure. And yikes, man, that is a lot of money for one action figure. So is it worth the $75? Well, we're really going to get into this today, and we're going to take a look at it, and I'll let you guys make that decision for yourselves. Now, I will say it comes in a really nice package. Mattel always does a stellar job with their boxes, especially for their exclusives. So this is a really nice box. You can see it's got like a black and white motif with a colored Street Sharks logo. The spine has the artwork, the concept art. So if you have all 3 of them, that'll look really nice kind of lined up. And then it's got a magnetic flap, which is really cool. And when you open that up, it reveals a window box showing the figure within, as well as the artwork that it is based on. Now, this is the part that I love the most. This is an original Dave Wolfram sketch for this character. Dave Wolfram, of course, did a lot of stuff for Mattel. He actually worked on a lot of, Masters and She-Ra stuff as well, so it's cool to see his name there. And then there's a description over there where current Mattel designer Bill Beneke, another guy who worked on a lot of Masters of the Universe classics and such, he basically took these early concepts and turned them into this brand new action figure. Now, those of you in the know, Clamando, you'll know that this is a bit different than the way he eventually turned out. The colors are crazy and bright and neon on this. Bill also mentions in this write-up on the side that there were several different sketches of this character, so he took some inspiration from each of the sketches for the figure. That's why the figure's got like a bandana around his eyes that you don't see in this artwork right here. Also, he was called Clamando in the original show, but his original name was going to be Clambo, so that's the name they went with for this figure. So I do like the backstory. I like seeing the concept art. I love the box. Let's go ahead and get this opened up, and we'll take a look at the action figure itself. All right, so here is Clambo outside of the packaging. Bringing in the tape measure here, you can see that the figure is about 5.5 inches tall at the top of his eyes, poking out of his oyster shell there. So not quite a full 6 inches tall, but he is very bulky. So he does sort of feel like he would fit right in with the retro Street Sharks action figures because they were always big, bulky figures. I really wish I had some actual vintage Street Sharks to show him alongside of. The closest I've got is I do have a few of the vintage Mattel Extreme Dinosaurs, which were sort of like Street Sharks, but I thought it'd be cool to put him in there with those, just so you can kind of see how he mashes up with those figures. And if you're curious how he stands alongside some other modern action figures, here's a smattering of those at different scales, so you can see how this guy measures up. So the overall look is inspired mostly by what we saw on that sketch on the packaging there, though they did note on there that it's kind of inspired by several different versions of the character. Like we've got the bandana that's tied around his eyes up there, and the colors are wild on this thing. I mean, he is a bright neon pink, and he's got yellow and bright green. The oyster shell itself, you can see it's got a bit of a camouflage deco there, but it's all got this very pearlescent look to it. In fact, one of the things that this really reminds me of is it almost looks like it's trying to be like a Sofubi figure or like a art type figure of some sort, like a designer toy. That's the overall vibe this gives off. It gives off the vibe of a designer or Sofubi figure. In fact, it feels kind of like a Sofubi figure because it's so lightweight. I don't think it's like hollowed out or anything, but it is a very light figure, and you can see it is a bit pliable. Like there's no articulation here, and you can see how flexible it is. It's pretty pliable. Now, he still feels sturdy. He doesn't feel like gummy or anything like that, but he is very lightweight. I was very surprised by that when I pulled him out of the box. He doesn't have a lot of weight to him there. So the overall look is great though. I do like those colors. Like I love weird, brightly colored, shiny toys like this. So it's right up my alley, but I can see those like not really meshing in with some of the earlier Street Sharks figures. Now they did have some metallic ones towards the end. One of the other things I know about the vintage Street Sharks line is they had kind of like this rubbery skin to them. And this figure does not have that at all. This is all just like a normal plasticky feel. So it totally eliminates that softer kind of fleshy feeling skin, like that shark kind of skin tone that those vintage figures had. So the oyster shell does open up. You can see that it's pretty cool. It actually just folds open there and it reveals like the full face on the inside. I do like how it's got kind of that shiny pearlescent pink on the underside of the oyster shell. And then his face all has that same kind of shine to it there. I like his grinning teeth. I love that he's got like a necklace of like bullets there. You can see that. That's pretty cool. So really fun overall design with this guy. Now, his articulation, as I kind of alluded to, is very minimal. Essentially, all you've got are the arms that move up and down at the shoulders, and then the wrists that turn left and right, and then of course that hinge on the back that allows the oyster shell to open and close. And then you do also have the ability to turn the waist down here under the clamshell, but as you can see, the legs are all a solid sculpt, so there's nothing else in there. So it's minimal articulation, but he's sturdy, he stands pretty well. One thing I do want to point out is that the oyster shell seems very loose, at least on mine. I mean, it just kind of flops around there, and you saw it a second ago, it just kind of fell over on its own. So I do wish that was a little bit tighter, but all in all, it's pretty sturdy and it's a pretty cool looking toy. Now he does come with two accessories in the form of these two like crazy oversized guns. They've got that same kind of art designer toy feel to them, in that they've got like this like rainbowed purple color to them. You can see how it kind of fades into different shades of purple. They've got that metallic look. They're also very lightweight. Like, I don't know if you can hear that, but these are definitely like hollow plastic. Very, very lightweight feeling. And they both fit into his hands just fine. He actually has a really tight grip, but you can see he can hold on to both of his guns, and that completes the overall look of our Clambo action figure. One more quick thing I want to show you guys is with the packaging here. I do like that it's easy to put him back in the box if you want to store him that way, because you can see like you can easily slide out just like the plastic clamshell that the figure fits back inside of. But there's this extra piece that was up here at the top above the figure. And you can open this up and you can pull this out of here. This is like like a little, just like a baggie, almost like it's got like a hang tab at the top, and it's got like, it's a nice sturdy bag. And you can see the other side's actually got the figure's name and that artwork on there. But you can't, like, as far as I can tell, you can't open this bag without like removing the staples. So I don't really know the purpose of this. I don't know if it's supposed to be like, you know, this is like his little hang tag package and you just display him with it. I don't think you actually can put him inside of it because you'd have to undo the staples. I don't know. I guess I just don't really understand the purpose of the included hang tab bag within the box. So all in all, I do like it. I think it's a cool figure. I like the story with it. I love that whole bringing a concept character to life finally for the first time. Like I said, that is all right up my alley. However, I do find myself questioning this move a bit. I think that price point is really the sticking point for me. $75 each, and you're offering 3 of them at the same time seems like a lot to ask. And this is one of those things where I think a lot of the longtime fans of Street Sharks have been sitting there waiting for something to be done with this property, and we're hoping that Mattel was going to give it a whole new action figure treatment, something like what we're seeing with Masters of the Universe Origins. Now, maybe that is still something that's coming. Maybe this is just the start of it, and I hope that's the case, because I feel like dangling something out there like this and asking $75 per figure is not the best idea for bringing your franchise back. I am worried that that cost is just too prohibitive for most people. I think it's a nice figure. I think it's really well designed. It's solid, but I don't necessarily feel like it's a $75 figure. And I think they're going to probably cite that it's low production. Obviously, you're probably paying for the fancy box as well, but $75 still feels much too high for one figure like this. I would consider this a $40 figure, maybe $50 max, but $40 seems more like the right spot for a exclusive low production figure like this. You know, I mean, it's minimal articulation. It's mostly like a designer vinyl toy. That's kind of the look and feel that they went for with this. So I don't know. I hope to see more with Street Sharks. I hope this isn't the last thing Mattel is doing with it. I think it would be a shame if we're only getting these 3 high price point figures that will likely sell out fast anyway. So I definitely want Mattel to do more with this license for the longtime fans of the brand. Anyways, if you are interested in trying to grab one of these for yourself, they're going to be made available exclusively at MattelCreations.com on August 27th, 2021 at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So mark your calendars. I'll put a link in the video description. If you guys want to pay the $75, go for it. I don't know if this is going to be the last time we see Street Sharks or not, but definitely check it out for yourselves. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and until next time, my friends.